As a precaution, you want to use either the first or second click. If you use the third click setting on this gun, it will fire the ball practically all the way across the room. After a few test fires, we've determined that the ball is landing in this general area, so we'll go ahead and take our paper, place it there, and then using the masking tape actually secure it to the floor to make sure that it does not move, so that all of our measurements can be assured to be good. You will want to make sure that it is securely taped down so that there is no motion. And then when you fire, you will notice the mark that is made. That is the mark that you will be measuring to. This is lab number 2, projectile motion. For this lab, you have your projectile gun that you're going to actually go ahead and mount onto the table using a C-clamp. This is to ensure after you have started firing that the projectile launcher does not move. The first thing that you need to do is figure out where the 0 point that you're going to measure is going to be. You will note on the side it says launch position of the ball, and there is a small crosshair in it. You're going to drop either a ruler or even potentially a plumb bob down from that point and mark on the ground with a piece of tape where your 0 point is. You will need to know the 0 point so that you can get all of your X dimension measurements from that 0 point. The other thing that you will need to do while you are doing this is measure the height from the ground to that crosshair. That is your launch position of the ball, and that height will be your Y dimension measurement for the purposes of this lab. While doing this lab, we are going to be using the small plastic yellow projectile balls. You do not want to use the steel balls in this case because they will have too much energy associated with them should they impact anybody. You'll place the ball in the barrel of the projectile launcher, and then using your ramrod, you will push it down to either the first or second click. You do not want to use the third click. I am going to use the first click for purposes of today's lab. You will go ahead and do several test fires to determine where you need to set your paper down. And after you have determined where you're going to set your paper down, you're going to go through the series of launches. In order to launch, simply pull on the string attached to the latch, and that will fire your projectile. Your measurement is going to be from the 0 mark out to where the ball impacted. Please be sure not to point the projectile launcher at anyone in the class, as these balls, even though they are made of plastic, are moving at a high rate of speed and could potentially injure somebody. Common sense lab safety.